Hey everybody, it's almost the end of December and I thought I should check in for another video. Definitely have some updates from the last time, which was 4 months post-op, and I'm almost, well, January 8th will be 11 months, so coming up on a year post-op, which is wild. Um, so last I left off, I talked about the fistula and I talked about having a surgery to repair that in October. So the update there is that I went to Dr. Nikolowski and they did a, I don't know the term, hold on, I gotta let my dog out. Go on. Okay, sorry about that. So I don't know the term for what they did, but it's like not an x-ray, but they like put a camera down your urethra and like it's a moving x-ray, which is kind of cool, except it was like legitimately the most painful part of this entire thing that I've gone through. So I hope I never ever have to do that again. Um, but that showed exactly what was going on in my urethra, and the reason I had a fistula is because there was a stricture, which the doctor said typically is why guys will get fistulas, because there's like a narrowing in the urethra. So when you try to pee, instead of it going all the way through, it hits the stricture and then it comes out the easiest direction. So it creates a fistula. So that makes sense to me. So that changed my surgery prognosis to doing a 2-stage repair, because when you have a stricture, they can try to fix it in 1 stage, but the success rate is much lower. So in October 14th, I went in and had the 1st stage of that stricture and fistula repair. So what that involved was I don't know how many hours surgery, not terribly long, but a surgery where they took a graft from the inside of my cheek and they opened up the stricture. And so my stricture is like right behind my scrotum, kind of like where they hooked up the original urethra to the new one, kind of like right in there, which I think is pretty common too, for that to be a kind of a problem area. So they took this graft from my cheek and I can't explain medical things, but they like laid it in there. They opened up the urethra and they laid in the graft, and now I have to like let that heal for 6 months so it gets full blood supply and it's completely healed. And then on I was kind of like negotiating with the surgeon. I'm like, does it have to be a full 6 months? 5 months is good. So anyhow, we settled on like 5.5 months because, like I'd said before, I need to get back to work in the summer. So I'm having my next surgery on March 24th. Right, same surgeon close to where I live, so that's amazing. To like take the new tissue and everything and like put it back together into a urethra. And like the success rate for this 2-stage surgery is really, really good. So I was stressing out before my post-op with him. I'm like, do I need to prepare myself for the possibility that this is only going to be, the second of 3 stages? And he's like, I've only, out of dozens and dozens of surgeries I've done like this, I've only had one time where it wasn't the final surgery, and that was the poor guy developed a stricture somewhere else, just like randomly. So they had to then do the repair on that stricture. So that kind of eased my mind that this next surgery should fix my peeing woes and I should be good to go for next summer. Um, the post-operative, just to go back a little, the post-operative for the first stage was 6 weeks of not lifting over 5 pounds. Now, like a gallon of milk is 8 pounds, so you're really, really limited. It was difficult for me. At the beginning, the first couple of weeks, like honestly, the worst part is the mouth for me was very sore, very painful. They took like a huge graft, the whole side of my cheek, and that still doesn't feel quite right. It's kind of tight and a little swollen feeling, so I only chew on this side. Um, but it is slowly improving. I mean, my cheek had to like completely regrow all that tissue. It's kind of wild that it can do that, but it did. And then the other part was the first, I think, 10 days, week 10 days, you have a catheter. And I had heard from when I'd heard Dr. Santucci talk about this type of surgery, he said you would have a suprapubic catheter, which is the one that comes straight from your bladder, like out your lower stomach, which is very annoying, very annoying. And Dr. Nikolovsky does it with just using a Foley catheter, which comes out, in my case, from where the fistula is, from where they opened up the urethra. So as annoying as that was, it was better than the suprapubic catheter. And I had that for like 10 days, and then actually like took it out at home, which was kind of crazy, but it was easy and painless. So once the catheter was out, I could at least start moving around more and feeling a bit more human. And then I peed basically very similar to how I did before the surgery, because it's like an opening fistula. So that's where I'm at. There's a lot of aftercare, which no one had mentioned before to me. Like for the entire 6 months between the first stage and the second stage, you have this like tissue that it's from your inside of your mouth, and so you have to keep it like super moisturized. So you have to put this like heavy duty moisturizer on it several times a day. But you know, what are you gonna do? You just do it. So I am doing that, taking care of myself the best I can. So this 2-stage procedure does in fact push my second stage phalloplasty surgery to 2022. So that sucks. What are you gonna do? So I'll just have to wait. And it's funny, like the surgery is like, I'm slowly getting the results that I wanted. Like it's a very slow process. And as far as like emotionally, I am all over the place, honestly. It's been such a roller coaster, and it feels very, and this is partially my own fault because I have hermited myself away, but it feels very lonely. And like my partner and the people who love me are so supportive. So it's not them, it's just I don't know how to even to talk about all the ways that I've been feeling. So I need to work on that. I need to figure out how to like verbally process all of this. It's such a situation, and it's so complicated because parts of it are so good and other parts of it are so disappointing. And I'm still in the middle of it, you know. It's not like you have the surgery and then you process it and this is what it is. It's you have the surgery, but then you're still in the midst of it all for, in my case, it's going to be at least a couple of years of mid-surgery. So that's interesting. So I'm not even really sure what the final result is going to be until, you know, a year and a half from now. Because even after you have second stage, you have to let that all heal. So What a process. I'm not at the stage where I can give advice to anyone because, like I said, I'm still in the middle of it. And I have a lot of feelings, and like I could just spew all these thoughts and like what I think about it, but I'm in the middle. What I feel today could be completely different from what I feel a few months from now, you know? So I guess no one's expecting advice. I'm just here to share how things have been for me. So, I'm gonna try to reconnect a little more, try to stop hermiting away, and you know, before surgery, I watched every guy's video made, and now it's like I'm almost, I don't know why. I'm gonna think on that more of why I've really stopped. But anyhow, my arm is good. My hand is like, here's my arm. Everything is working great. I can't wait to get a tattoo. I've been thinking about what I want to do for a tattoo, and Dr. Santucci said 12 months or a year, so I'm coming up on that. I think I might just do trees and leaves and stuff because that's who I am. It's who I've always been, and it's like a big tattoo, and I know that I'll never not like nature. So I had to get my ring resized almost to size up for my finger. I wasn't wearing it since I had surgery, so it's nice to have that back on. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. I will try to touch base again soon, and if anyone has any specific questions or wants me to make a video about something, let me know. Take care, everyone.